Hi, my name is Kathy Lee, and this is the business strategies of Johnson & Johnson versus Pfizer. A brief outline of what it is I'm going to be covering is I'll be going over the business position overview, some introduction about Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer, their mission and values, their organizational structure, and their strategic management. I'll also be going over the competitive globalization of Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer, along with some similarities and differences that I've noticed between the companies. I'm also going to give you my recommendation of the best practice as well as just general recommendations. So to begin, this is the business position overview of the top 10 pharmaceutical companies in 2019. As you can see, Pfizer is ranked at the highest, with Johnson & Johnson not too far behind them, ranked third. So some brief information about these two companies I'm going to be talking about. Johnson & Johnson was founded in 1886 and has a headquarters in New Jersey, USA. They operate through three segments: pharmaceuticals, consumer and medical devices, and diagnostics. Some of the products that they produce are baby and beauty care products, medical devices for orthopedic surgery, vision, and interventional solution. Some of the pharmaceutical products that they produce are medications for immunology, cardiovascular, and metabolic disease. They own more than 250 companies in 57 countries around the world. They also employ about 134,000 people. In contrast, Pfizer was founded in 1849 and has a headquarters in Connecticut, USA. They operate through three business segments: innovative medicines, established medicines, and consumer healthcare. Some of the products that they produce include over-the-counter medications and prescription medications. They own 64 manufacturing sites and have more than 200 supply chain partners. As of 2018, they approximately had 92,400 employees. The mission and value of Johnson & Johnson follows the baseline that they have guided community actions in fulfilling their responsibilities to their customers, their employees, the community, and their stockholders. Versus Pfizer's mission is to discover and develop innovative, value-added products that improve the quality of life of people around the world and help them enjoy longer, healthier, and more productive lives. Both of these companies employ two different organization structures, and they also vary from time to time amongst the company. For example, Johnson & Johnson, their structure consists of 180 operating divisions and their family headquarters, which oversee all the operations of the three segments I listed previously. They go based off of a decentralized structure, which enables managers across the country to develop business strategies and operating models that best fit its receptive consumer needs. For Pfizer, they recently changed its structure from two segments, innovative health and essential health, to three segments, innovative medicines, established medicines, and consumer healthcare. So this is going to be the strategic management of Johnson & Johnson. The primary success factor in Johnson & Johnson's strategy is consistency in production, marketing, and growth. They have a continued backward vertical integration through acquisitions enable Johnson & Johnson to ensure a stable supply of raw material, to control its product quality, as well as to reduce the cost of production. Integrated and acquired R&D globally. Investing significant resources in innovation has led the company to successfully develop and obtain patents for several drugs, including cancer drug Imbruvica, autoimmune disease drugs such as Simponi and Stelara, and blood thinner Xarelto, among others. J&J have at least 30 late-stage programs which are awaiting regulatory approval. The company also relies on its strong brand reputation to attract investors, talents, and customers. J&J offers discounted coupons on products like baby powder, baby soaps, Stay Free, etc. Especially baby product kits are given to the new mothers in many hospitals. Investing in talented employees and strengthening leadership capabilities regionally and globally is one of the main goals of Johnson & Johnson. These strategies have led to stellar performance in terms of profits and market growth, resulting in an increase in dividend payouts for 25 years in a row. Now going over the strategic management for Pfizer, the company is constantly developing several core competencies and seeking opportunities for business growth in new markets through aggressive mergers and acquisitions. Continuous investing in R&D enables the company to expand the use of existing drugs as well as produce differentiated medicines. Pfizer pursues a blockbuster business model to produce new drugs, which is expected to generate annual revenues of $1 billion or greater. Over the years, Pfizer has gained a competitive advantage through strategic licensing several patented drugs. The competitive globalization of Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson adopted the business strategy of global standardization in more than 200 companies around the world. The company has gained competitive advantage through economies of scale that allow it to lower cost of production. The company has a competitive edge in the global pharmaceutical industry due to cooperative culture and brand name. The company also employs an aggressive market penetration and development approach that includes advertising on mainstream media and participating in CSR activities. Johnson & Johnson's global growth has also been attributed to its ability to acquire emerging firms and patent new drugs. The competitive globalization of Pfizer. Pfizer is a global brand due to its competitive, innovative pharmaceutical products. Its large organizational size has given it economies of scale that smaller pharmaceutical firms do not have. The economies of scale enables the company to invest in research and development, thus developing unique products and enjoy patent protection. By operating in multiple global markets, it can leverage the economic upswings in various regional markets, even if there is a crisis in the market. The company has also dominated global market through acquisition of small pharmaceutical firms. For instance, the company acquired Warner Lambert in 2000, Wyeth in 2009, and Hospira in 2015. Here are some similarities that I found between the companies. The two companies are large global corporations with their products present in more than 200 countries around the world. Economies of scale is the primary factor between the two firms' industry dominance. Economies of scale provide the firms with resources to invest in research and development as well as acquire small competitive firms. Patent protections also help them to ensure that their dominance in certain segments of the market is not challenged. As the two leading global pharmaceutical companies, Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer, enjoy a huge global recognition. Some differences between the companies include Johnson & Johnson operates in all pharmaceutical markets, while Pfizer tends to focus largely on the high-margin premium market for drugs. Though Johnson & Johnson's revenue is below Pfizer's revenue, a diverse business has helped J&J become stable with reliable profit growth. J&J's consistency has allowed it to provide a much bigger total return on a longer time frame. Johnson & Johnson have regularly paid dividends on their stocks for the past 20 years. Pfizer only sells prescription drugs. This implies that Johnson & Johnson faces little competition in the over-the-counter segment. Pfizer invests more in drug research and development programs, while Johnson & Johnson focused largely on consumer sales. So here are some of the best practices that I found. Continuing to grow through strategic alliances and acquisitions in emerging markets. Develop R&D capabilities in new technology areas in emerging markets to support business growth. Embrace patent protection and develop a wide range of products and markets to reduce risk exposure. Reshape value propositions based on the market trends. And leverage on brand equity and economies of scale to develop new products and gain a competitive edge in the market or industry. These are the recommendations that I would have for Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson relies heavily on suppliers for chemicals and raw materials. Recent product recalls have been a result of poor quality management. Therefore, it is critical to focus on developing core competency and establishing a quality management system to oversee the supply chain process. Johnson & Johnson should continue to promote cooperative culture by providing various mentoring programs and activities to develop new products. In conclusion, Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer are successful global pharmaceutical brands. From my analysis, Pfizer largely operates in the premium market while Johnson & Johnson operates in all pharmaceutical markets. The two companies use patent protection and continuous innovation of new products to sustain their competitive edge in the industry. The companies also use their economies of scale to develop or enter new markets through acquisition of existing small pharmaceutical firms. They use the strength provided by their sheer size to overcome market and industry risks. And here are a list of my references.